2 years ago I made a video about the no-name lure. I forgot all about it. And I've been wanting to try it for crappie, but I keep forgetting about it. And it's nothing but a bait that was made in 1950. Y'all can see what it looks like. It's just a little tiny spoon, very light, with a short piece of it looks to me like braid. They're about 1/4 of an inch long, and at the end of it is just a small hook with marabou on the back of it. I have it tied with a loop knot. I'm using 2-pound test line so that the bait will shimmy better. And I have it tied with a loop knot so to give it the freedom to shimmy. It's a real tight shimmy. I don't know if these crappie are going to bite it, so let's go see if they will or not. All right, we're heading back to the back end of this back here. What has happened, this is a situation where we've had about 3 or 4 days of a warming trend. Actually real warm. And what happens, crappie will move up in areas like this, cuts, fingers, you name it. And a lot of times they'll move back up in areas like this in great numbers. But the thing about crappie, the first time when a bad cold front like that's approaching now, when it goes over, folks, and the temperatures begin to plummet, these fish can move out of these areas. Let's look at it right here if we can see it. It's just a real tight shimmy. That's all it is. And is this part of the bait right here is doing the shimming because it's cupped right here at the hook, and it causes that shimmy. Well, this marabou onto this hook is doing this, so it really has a lot of action. That was a gar right there. It really has a whole lot of action. All right, we'll get busy. Now these fish are so shallow, folks. On the retrieve, you can see the fish come up and just flash on the bait. Yeah, I mean, you can see the fish strike. Maybe not in this overcast weather, but they hadn't been over about 1 foot deep. They're not very deep at all. It has a lot of built-in action, really tight wobble. All I'm going to do is just cast it out and reel it in. Just a steady reel, because it already has the action it needs to get a strike. Look here, folks. Look at here. First crappie. First doggone crappie on this bait. I didn't jerk. I just let the fish load up and started reeling the cow, that little bitty hook. And I'm also in another disadvantage is, doggone it, I didn't bring a net. That's silly right there. So we're going to have to be easy with him. Now let's look at this right here. This is cool. 1950 bait. Oh my goodness, quit. Looky here. Little black crappie. Well, he ain't real little. He's 9.5 inches, but look how I'm excited. That little hook held him good. Now that's fun, fishing with baits that you really don't know much about. Let's look at it in the water. Y'all see that? Now that was special. Look here, folks. Oh, that's a good one. Now we're going to have to be super careful with this one. Going to be super careful. That's a big crappie right there. Especially that little hook right there. My goodness. I'm going to just take my time. That's all I can do right here. Hope we don't lose him. It's a good one. Look here, what a crappie. That's what I was talking about. Now, he's not a 2-pounder, but he's a good fish, so. Good black crappie. Are you done? Come on here. Gotta be easy with him. Look at, quit. No, don't do it. Golly. My. I don't know what to say. I know one thing, I found another bait. This bait right here is killing crappie. It is killing them. It's that shimmy, that tight shimmy, and then that marabou in the back of it, which is separated from the hook, it's shimmying too. There's just so much you can say. So much you can say about anything. The proof is in the pudding. The doggone proof is in the pudding. Not pudding. Pudding. Now I'm using a neat little reel right here. It's a Fago LT 1000. It's got a real smooth drag system. That's why I'm using it. But I'm using a little Shakespeare Supreme right here. 5.5 feet long. I wished it was a little bit longer, but it's this rod right here is fiberglass. And it's just hard for a fish to get off of it. This hook is so small, I believe what I need to do is bend it out just a little bit. Bend the gap just a little bit. I'm going to do that right now. I have to modify everything. Y'all excuse me. But there's no doubt in my mind that's important. That's just too small of a hook. Look here, another crappie. Another crappie. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. They're absolutely eating this little bait up. I'm glad I selected this rod right here. I wished it was about 6 inches longer for a little longer cast, but with 2-pound test line, I'm getting a long enough cast, getting it away from the boat. Enough. He's hooked the same way. They're nipping at that marabou. That marabou's in behind that little, that little mini spoon. And it has a shimmy to it. Excuse me, I'm not going to be able to talk real good. Well, it got him in the snoot too. It got him twice. But bending that hook out was definitely the thing to do. Just a little bit. I just bend it out just a little bit so to get a little better bite on that fish. Yeah, this is code right here. Like I said, I love to experiment with baits. Let's look at that shimmy. See that? I knew I would catch them, but I didn't know they'd hit it this good. Let's get back up here where the crappie are. There he is. Oh my goodness. That fish just loaded up on that bait. He just loaded up. This might be a white crappie the way he's fighting right here. Now this is where you cannot railroad a fish in, scheme on top of the water. You wouldn't land none of these. Yeah, it's a white crappie. A white crappie fights a lot different than a black crappie. They have more of a lull. No, it ain't. I don't know. No, it's a black crappie, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it's a black crappie. He's just big. And I couldn't put much tension on him, this little 2-pound line and that little bitty hook. He just gave me a fit. That's all that happened. But a white crappie does fight different. It's good fish right there. They're eating the paint off of this. And this thing ain't got no paint. That's just lead. But now, this is fascinating to me. And there's a lot of y'all watching right now. I guarantee it's fascinating y'all too. Let's look at this pack real quick. There's the bait. There's the leader that's tied to it, and it's tied with a loop knot. That fish took that off. So I'm going to tie this new one on right here, but let's look at it just a little bit. but it was made in 1950. No, by John, I said Gary, John Fujita, the no-name wonder lure. Reason for the no-name, there is a no-name because this lure was not made for you, me, or anybody. I merely made it according to what the fish wanted. And there's some more material in there. Well, you see, with all the technology that we have right now, isn't it amazing that a 1950 lure will catch fish this day and time? Which, I mean, it doesn't amaze me, because a fish is a fish is a fish. But this lure right here was made to catch fish. It wasn't made to look pretty. It was made for a purpose, and that's to catch fish. But there's the leader that's on it. And if you notice, right here it's tied with a loop knot. Right there. But I'm just going to cut this leader off, and I'll tie my own loop knot in it. And this part right here broke. It might have just been a flaw, because that braid shouldn't have broke like that. It might have just been a flaw. You know, all baits have a flaw in it. But yeah, these were sent to me 2 years ago. And it seems like by me holding my rod tip low to the water, it gives it a lot better shimmy. So I've learned that much about it. The second thing I've learned about it, it catches a fire out of these crappie. I guarantee you. There's one. Slammed it. Yep. Slammed the far out of it. Golly, what a crappie. That's what I'm talking about. Quit. Folks, it's simply amazing. This is amazing me. Let's let him go right there. I hate to leave these fish biting like this, but I gotta go home. I'm starving to death. I didn't even eat our breakfast. Mama Sue's got some pig snout boiled up, and I got a gallon of buttermilk down there at the dollar store, and I'm starving to death. Now, yesterday evening, I pulled them old hair out of them snouts with a pair of pliers and to prepare them. And grease gravy poured on that snout's good, folks. But I'm going to have to leave these crappie. I'm give out from catching them. Please forgive the video if I was a little bit excited. Anytime that I find a new bait to catch crappie on, I get that way. Whether it be a little crankbait or just something kind of oddball when it comes to crappie fishing. Most crappie are caught on jigs and minnows. Those are the two primary baits that most crappie across the country are caught on. But when you stumble across a bait like that, which 2 years ago I looked at the action and I knew for a fact that bait would catch fish if I found them set up in a certain way. And today, well, it happened 2 years later. It's just exciting to me to find a new bait like that. Now my mind's going just all kinds of different directions. I can see a lot of applications that bait would work. So I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for all the comments, everything you do for this channel. Keep that left one going in front of the right one. Always. Hey. Ooh-wee. And remember, go fishing when you can, 'cause all this good food